So here it's all about ecosystem investment and innovation, just what we are living here at South Summit and what we believe our South Summit community are living out there, reinventing themselves every single day, now more than ever. This next conversation is going to take a deep dive into new ways of collaboration, making, again, more and more ways to be able to innovate. But this time we're looking at complexities like multi-sector, multi-country, and multiplayer connections. So here to tell us all about that and the speakers participating in the next conversation is my wonderful colleague, Marisol Menéndez, our Chief Open Innovation Officer. Marisol, all yours.
Thank you very much, Liz. I'm so happy to be here. It's so energetic. I wish you could all experiment what we are living here today. And I have double reason to be super happy because I'm here with my amazing friends representing different regions in the world. As Liz was saying before, and as I was saying in the panel before, I love connection. I'm passionate about open innovation. The connectedness works. We create value. We reach out wherever any organization can't reach out. We collaborate together. And this doesn't only happen at a local level. Of course, there are global dynamics. And to talk about this today, I have these amazing ladies in the panel. Let me welcome all of you, ladies. So let me introduce Jude Ower. She is founder and CEO of Playmob and Dealmaker, Global Entrepreneur Program at the UK. Hello, Jude. How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Fine. Thank you very much. Welcome. Next on stage, we have Iren Tranvag. She's CEO and founder of the Nordic Future Innovation Network in the Nordics, all the way to Oslo, no? And Norway. Hi, Iren.
Hi. Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Then we have Liat Shaham. She is from the Israel Embassy, and we have her connected here from Madrid representing Israel. Hello, Liat.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
And last, but of course not least, we have all the way from Belgium, Paula Kant, representing Invest in Hong Kong. Hello, Paula.
Hi, Marisol. So nice to be here. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here today. And you know, we discussed this before. We wanted to talk about what are the opportunities that we have in many corners of the world. Today we have the Nordics, we have Hong Kong, we have Israel, we have the UK. What is the global game? So I want to begin maybe with Jude. Jude, can you explain us what opportunities do we have in the UK and from the UK coming to the world?
Yeah, so I guess, you know, I kind of see it from kind of two perspectives. One, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm on my third business at the moment. And, you know, I also support the Global Entrepreneur Program, which is the government program which supports international founders coming to the UK. So I've got the lens of being in the country and also supporting those who want to come here too. In terms of the opportunities within the UK, I think, you know, over the past 15 years, what we've seen is, you know, massive support coming from government. Really understanding that, you know, we need great founders, we need innovation. And, you know, great entrepreneurs and innovation are going to solve some of the world's greatest problems. So, you know, we need to be able to make an ecosystem which is supportive of that. So things that have come up over the past 15 years have been, you know, looking at, you know, how do we get more money into the ecosystem? And so we've had initiatives like the Startup Enterprise Investment Scheme and the Enterprise Investment Scheme, which are tax incentives and tax discounts essentially for investors to invest in early stage companies. So that's been phenomenal in order to get more money into the system. We get more money into the system, we get more startups, more entrepreneurs, people can then exit and put more money back into the ecosystem. So there's a cycle that can happen within this. Other things that have happened have been grant funding. The grant funding that's available, especially through the likes of Innovate UK, you know, some of them are quite open in terms of what they're looking for, but it's all about, you know, high risk to failure innovation, and really trying to test the boundaries in a number of areas. And so the grant funding opportunities are fantastic as well. And to lead on from that, R&D and R&D rebates that can happen for companies that are investing heavily within research and development, where at the end of the year, you can then claim back some money that you've spent on the resources that you've needed to put into your research and development. Then we've got other initiatives like Patent Box. So if you patent your IP, there's a tax incentive in the future when you start to commercialize it. And other things as well. So upon an exit, you've got entrepreneurs relief. So when you sell your business, there's a tax discount on a certain percentage of the money that you make, in order to incentivize more people to kind of go for the exits. And also, that's a great way to then get money back into the system, because entrepreneurs typically then want to then invest in other companies. So if you've got more money to do that, you fuel the ecosystem even more. And you could even look at industry specifics like fintech, where over the past 5 years we've changed regulations around fintech. So there's been a boom in the number of companies that want to come to the UK because of the ecosystem for fintech. And an area that I'm really passionate about is impact. How companies could make a positive impact in the world. And I think the UK is really starting to lead the charge in this space too, and build an amazing ecosystem, where I've seen through the Global Entrepreneur Programme, I've seen companies want to come to the UK because it's a great place to have an impact company. We've seen the number of impact investors rising. And just recently I saw a statistic where since 2015, when the Sustainable Development Goals had launched, £2.2 billion have been invested in companies aligned to the SDGs. So there's kind of that kind of macro view within the market, but also we start to see the clusters within the specific areas as well.
Thank you very much, Jude. And of course, tons of opportunities there. Liat, we all know about Israel. We know about the startup nation, the perfect example of even a startup country. Tell us about that, please.
So thank you again, Marisol, and again, it's a pleasure to be here. Well, there's two things that I can say that I think are relevant to the discussion in terms of collaboration between the global community in Israel and in the innovation scene. So from the side of open innovation, which I know you love, so I think Israel, with more startups than any country in Europe, I think it's a paradise for open innovation. And as well you mentioned, as you know, there is like an ongoing, always train of corporates coming into Israel, looking into innovation. There's a very large presence of multinational companies, and also of medium-sized players in Israel looking for open innovation. And in that sense, we at the Economic Commission of Israel in Spain, as well as other colleagues around the world, what we do is try to create a win-win with the corporates and with the open innovation teams, and offer them free scouting, free introduction to the startups, with a view in mind that they receive, an exposure to the right kind of technology that they're looking for and kind of solutions. And we give the startups, the Israeli startups, access to market, because we're a small country and we desperately need the access to market that the global corporates are offering. This is from the open innovation side. From the startup side, there are several programs going in Israel right now, mostly run by or initiated by the foreign countries themselves, countries like Spain and Australia and other countries in the world, where foreign startups from all over the world come to Israel to experience the ecosystem, to learn, to train, and to get access. And this is something that is very, very useful for startups from all over the world. One example is that Spain is doing it, ESEX with Red.S, which you had their president in the previous panel. They're doing it in Israel in collaboration with a hub called The Floor in FinTech. And I think it's really, really interesting, and it's a really good opportunity for Spanish startups, and they should look into that. So That's me.
Thank you very much, Liat. So we know all the opportunities we have in Israel, but also the Nordics represent a relevant market. We have Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden represented in the Nordics. Irene, tell us more about that, please.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me, Marisol. My great passion is to make a better world through partnerships, communities, and global ecosystems. In the Nordics, we have strong companies, best practices, and we represent 27 million people. The success criteria for us is to build a trustful ecosystem, bring the Nordics together, and connect globally to boost innovation. The elements for our work are: one, connecting the right people, people that are passionate, curious, willing to share, explore, and innovate together. Two, it is about raising awareness through insight and thought leadership to empower the partnerships within each sector, across sectors, and the borders in the Nordic countries. And the world-known Chris Skinner is a thought leader and chairman of the board. And then is the third element, that is about learning and curiosity that are critical values to build resilience and adaptability, with continuous connections, both physical and digital. We meet quarterly. And then, last but not least, it's about a digital platform presenting common results, facilitated by the right people, knowing that
Well, we're experimenting a freeze. Later on, we can let Irene to finish up. But I think she was leading up to the connectedness with the right people. And really, it's interesting to see the dynamics in the Nordic panorama. And it's really interesting to see what we can learn from the Nordic ecosystem representing 27 million customers. And 27 million doesn't seem that much when we travel all the way to Asia. So, Paula, what do we see in Hong Kong?
Hi, thank you, Marisol. And it makes sense that I'm speaker number 4, because this is what startups do, right? They grow in their home country, then they grow in neighboring countries, and then they might make the jump to Asia. As we know, Asia has the fastest growing economies at the moment. And when you think Asia, I would like everybody to think also Hong Kong. Hong Kong is still a great place to have a regional Asia-Pacific hub, a gateway to China, and a beautiful market in itself. I've lived and worked around Asia myself, as you know, Marisol, for 6 years. It's a fantastic place. The vibrancy, the dynamics, the growth, hunger is fantastic. What do we have in Hong Kong? We have a very vibrant startup ecosystem. 35% of the startups in Hong Kong have foreign founders, so a very international environment. If you're in fintech, if you're also in innovation and technology, in creative industries, think gaming, think film industry, think digital marketing, Asia is really the place to go for scaling up, for that next level. I also want to say that it's a city where East really meets West, right? I've experienced that in the 6 years I've lived in the region. That's unbeatable. And needless to say, there is a good offering of capital, VCs, angel investors, also government programs, as well as incubators, often a very good first step. From the Invest Hong Kong office in Brussels, which I have the honor to head, we help companies from startups to multinationals from 12 countries in Europe, Spain amongst them. So I would say anybody who wants to know more, contact me, contact Marisol, and happy to help you with the start of your Asia adventure. Thanks.
Thanks, Paula. And you know, you talked about the globe. Kino, we need to also regret the loss and death of Kino, the great drawer. And he made so many drawings about the globe actually being round, has become CEST. And we are really connected, as we can see today. We have 10 seconds per person. If you can finish with a tagline, a call to action, quick and engaging, please. Let's begin with Liat, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Well, a call to action for now, I would say relating to the COVID situation, for all the startups out there, your pitch has to be COVID relevant. It has to be relevant for this time, not just focused on post-COVID, but if you're looking to engage right now in business and you want to see it in the foreseeable future, my tip is have a pitch ready for now.
Perfect, Liat. Paula, please, your call to action.
I would, thank you. I would say expand your horizons, your personal horizons, your business horizons. HR's open for business, and reach out to us and we can help.
Thank you, Paula. And Jude, you are going to do the close, the final thoughts?
No pressure. Okay, no, I think the biggest tip I can give is trust your gut instincts. I think your gut instinct never lies. You know, and it often rules what you think in your head. So I would say always go with how your gut feels when you're making decisions.
Perfect. So go global, connect, trust your instincts, and be COVID relevant. And of course, on behalf of Nordic Future Innovation, reach out to the Nordics, connect with the right kind of people, with the right kind of mindset. And babies, the world is ours. Let's keep connected, let's create value, and let's build bridges, as we should do, to really keep pace with innovation. Thank you very much.
Marisol, amazing. Thank you so much.
Great, huh?
What an interesting conversation. And what an amazing track. That's it. The whole track. Investment, ecosystem, collaboration, everything that we're about here at South Summit.
Yes.
Amazing. Great job. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Guys, that's the end of this track. Ecosystem, investment, innovation, impact, all of these things that are so close to our heart at South Summit, because that's what South Summit is at the end of the day. We're a global platform for making connections to accelerate the pace of innovation. So thank you so much for being with us here today. That's a wrap from this track. Thank you.